Guys, welcome back. It's your favorite Gimp with a Limp, and I'm recording this actually for a week that I'm going to be gone on a trip. So I've just got a little content scheduled to go up for you guys, and this is one this has been irritating me a little bit. So thought I would just bitch and let anyone who's in my shoes enjoy my griping here. This is the Everrain by Grimlord Games, and it's quickly become the Neverrain. My big thing, I love pirate games, I love ship games, Age of Sail, that type stuff. And I saw this way back when it first released, and I had actually just missed the Kickstarter, but I was able to get in on the late backer Kickstarter, and so happy about that because the game looked so exciting to me. And it was to give it to them. I mean, they're still updating. They updated as recently as September 9th, 2021. But this game funded back in like 2018, and the estimated delivery was 2 years ago. This is by far, for me, the worst that I've ever had as far as Kickstarters are concerned. So let's real quick just let you guys see it. The first little bit here is just story, so I'm going to skip that to the actual game itself.
In its image,
Let you guys see.
players must head out into this dark and foreboding seascape to discover the source of the Everrain and prevent it from unmaking the world. The map is modular, with tiles being generated along the way as you explore, making for a unique experience every time you play. The world is filled with places to visit and discover. Ports where all manner of shops and venues can be visited. Islands that can be explored to find valuable trinkets and clues. Shipwrecks just waiting to be plundered for their unclaimed treasures. These are just a few of the environs you will find on your journeys. Each player is charged with their own ship and crew to set out on their adventure. Utilizing your crew properly is vital when exploring the world of the Everrain, and the crew themselves must be looked after in order to keep them in your service. A life at sea is a hard one, and the strain can kill even the strongest soul if left unchecked. A crew's loyalty must always be kept. What starts as dissatisfaction today has the potential to swell to mutiny in the future. As the Old One's influence once again permeates the world, those who choose to serve them are slowly transformed in order to survive the coming event. Some are just beginning this conversion. Others are scarcely recognizable as human anymore. Make no mistake, all of these foes will try to impede your progress by any means necessary. The game is split into acts, with each new chapter unlocking new areas to explore, crew to hire, and unique upgrades to your ship. Players will find themselves in a constant race with the agents of the enemy, and should your foes progress in their own charge more swiftly than the players, then their growing influence would be felt across the globe. Do not become too distracted from the task at hand. The Everrain contains 4 player ship miniatures, 4 enemy ship miniatures, 12 basic crew miniatures, 8 special crew miniatures, 17 enemy miniatures, 1 Avatar of the Old One miniature, 1 game board, 4 player ship dashboards, 4 enemy ship dashboards, 20 game tiles, 15 custom engraved dice, 130 cards, and 200 plus tokens. Back our Kickstarter campaign and take up the cause to halt the destruction of the world.
All right, so you guys can see why, this was standing out to me because plenty of games, and this is kind of in that dungeon crawler theme. It's got the Cthulhu type mythos mixed in with it, the old ones and that type stuff, but it's got the Age of Sail with it, which just, takes it to another level for me. And I was like, oh, great, this is cool. I'm so looking forward to this. And I remember that I didn't have the money to back it immediately when it just ended, so that's why I got the late pledge, and I got the little Seafarer pledge here. It's the only thing you could get. Obviously, I missed the early bird one that they had, but I was like, okay, I like the Cthulhu mythos stuff, and they've got some good stretch goals that have already been hit, and I wonder if that might be part of it because there's a lot of stretch goals. Um, cool looking minis, look like it'd be fun to paint. The map, the game board itself is actually going to be a neoprene, or supposed to be, if people ever get it, because that was one of the stretch goals. Cool looking dice. So actually, see, and they got a free expansion to all pledges, basically. Some extra enemies and cool looking stuff in it, and it shows all the unlocked content, all the extra monsters and crew and everything that gets added to it. Enemies, the floated drown man, or what is it, bloated drown man. Cool looking stuff here, custom ships, custom ship boards instead of them all being the same. Marbling neoprene game board. I wonder if that might be part of it, that they went too far on the stretch goals, because neoprene is definitely not a cheap material to go towards. It's usually always a add-on versus a stretch goal, but this time they did it as a stretch goal. Great. It's neoprene game board, but I think they showed some others. Upgrade sculpted mini bases. Great, cool stuff. If we ever damn well get it. And there are a few add-ons. I didn't get any of the add-ons, I do not believe. Just some extra enemies, which honestly at this point I'm kind of glad that I didn't get the extra add-ons. The Flood expansion combo pack, basically all that other stuff put together. Metal coins, acrylic tokens, art book, all that put together. The Brittle Star dice set. So basically, marble dice you could get as an expansion, and then you could get the whole bundle. A dice tower, which looked real cool. And then it shows the stuff for all the stretch goals. But basically, it looked like a really awesome game, and they just cannot deliver this thing. Now, look, I get it. Sometimes they run into problems, but this company has other games that they've released that they sell at retail. So this isn't their first game. This isn't their first rodeo. See, actually, if we flip over to their website, go to their store here, they've got Village Attacks and Endure the Stars. These are two of their games. It's a European company or British company. I can't tell. Wait, no, the euro looks different. Yeah, that's the pound symbol, so it's a British company. So they've got a couple other games actually at retail right now. And this makes no sense. Why would you have a 1.5 version of the game, right? I guess they just got extra copies of that lying around, so they're selling it for £20 cheaper, and then you can get the 1.5 version for £20 more. But you could get the upgrade for the original version for £35. And I don't know. I'm just looking at it like, okay, whatever. Maybe if you made this cheap enough that I would buy this and this, versus this. I don't know. I'm just thinking about it. But I was looking at some of the other games. They don't look bad, right? And the thing of it is, I'm just like, can you guys release this already? In the comments, there's 14,000 comments, and they've been put. Before we look at that, let's look at the update. And this is production update, final sample sign off. What the hell do you mean sign off? That should have been done years ago. So you see, the components are still being worked on. Look, I mean, here it is. Here's the game. So supposedly it should be in people's hands. I would guess maybe in the next 6 months. The End of the World needed a bigger box. Okay, cool. That's awesome. I'm looking forward to actually seeing it. But this is supposedly the finalized version of what everyone's supposed to be getting. I'm just praying that it actually comes through. Here's all of it laid out. Those are just card filler packs because it's going to have cards and tokens and dice and all that good stuff. Let's see what they've got. Pre-mass production. Look at this. Full sample approval completed. I just don't know what the hell's taken them so long to have gotten to this point. And freight and fulfillment, yeah, not even close. It's pending. So they're still waiting on the manufacturing of the neoprene mats, which was something I was concerned about. Printed material, quality control checks, mass assembly, all that's still pending, and then language translation. So I'm guessing English is good, and maybe some of the other close countries to the UK might be done, but whatever other languages they're putting it out in, maybe are having issues. The comments are a lot more gracious than honestly I think they should be. It's taken too long. Everyone is just they're ill right now, and can you really blame them, right? Because I'm ill. I'm this one. I still have hopes in. I still have hopes that it'll actually arrive, especially seeing those pictures, seeing that there is a finalized copy of it. But what worries me is that all right, they got in what almost 400,000, I think. How much money was made? How much money was made on this Kickstarter? Okay, roughly 350 or yeah, 360,000 pounds, which would be what $400,000 roughly now. But this was made years ago, right? So they've got to be doing other stuff to make money because that will go through very quickly in production and especially shipping charges. If they had shipped this way back when they should have, then they wouldn't have gotten caught up in all the other bullcrap. They would have been caught up in the never-ending Chinese New Year, because that is always the excuse when it comes to shipping board games from overseas. Is it's Chinese New Year, which evidently starts in January and ends in December. But now they're caught up in the real shipping bullcrap that's going on, where it's gonna cost 10,000 for a container versus the 3,000 it used to cost. But we haven't paid for shipping yet on this game, right? We have not paid for shipping yet. So I'm wondering how that's going to affect it. Am I going to have to pay now that extra cost because it took them so long to get the game to people, right? To finally get this done. I mean, I understand stuff happens, but this is ridiculous that I should have paid $25 for shipping cost, right? Roughly. And now I'm expecting it to be anywhere between 40, 50, maybe even $60 in shipping. Almost the cost of the game, probably. At least half the cost of the game, because it's taken so long and shipping prices have gone through the roof. And they got some fanboys. It's not the update I want. The update people want is for an actual timeline. Right? The timeline said they would originally deliver 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Right? I don't want to hate on them, but it's just, this is ridiculous. This one hurts me a little bit. I would have rather some of my other pledges have gone bad over this one. And there's another sailing game, pirate game, that I got a little while back that I would rather them have taken longer on, because there was so much errata with the rule book. I wanted to cover it. I couldn't even cover it because it was so bad. But this is what people talk about. Every time they read an update here once in a quarter, they believe that, hey, it's finally going to do something. But no. I mean, there are Kickstarters that started well after they finished this one that have already funded, pledged, shipped, and finalized and completed everything. I know some of them have it down to like a manufacturing train. They've done it so many times, but to have years of problems, this is approaching the Evil Dead levels. The that Not Alone in the Dark, that solitaire card game. I can't remember the damn name of it off the top of my head. Shit, I can't remember it. But yeah, it's approaching that level, right? The games that just never released. The Evil Dead was one of the worst offenders of that, even though the company that bought them up finally actually did release it. But it is my hope that one day I will be doing a video on the Everrain with all these nice little looking components. I want to paint these little miniatures. I want it at my table. I want something different, set in that mythos where I've got a Age of Sail ship that I'm sailing around firing cannon shots and trying to take out the rigging and doing all that stuff, but it's got monsters and sea demons and stuff like that instead of just pirates. It looks so freaking awesome, and it's still not in our hands. They got to come through with as much money got dumped into this thing, and this was back before Kickstarter was anywhere near as big as it is now. This was right before, I guess, the height of Kickstarter taking off. Although, I mean, Kickstarter's been big for board games for years, but it's really become huge for board games, especially recently. I don't know. I think they botched this somewhere. I would really like them to come out with just an explanation of we botched it with this. X person dropped the ball. This is their name. This is their address. Go beat the hell out of them. I'm joking. Seriously, don't actually do that. But some of them just hurt. And I understand the grander scheme of things. It's just a game. It's a board game. It's not that big of a deal. But this is one of the ones that really had been on my radar, and I've always had it tucked at the back of my mind that one day I'd get to play it. And I'm hoping that one day will be before my kids, who are toddlers and in diapers, are graduating college. Yet to be determined. We'll see if it happens. You guys cross your fingers, though, and put down any experiences you've had with bad Kickstarters who never bothered to deliver, or they delivered real late, or whatever issues they had. Put them down. Maybe we'll cover some more of those stories of what happened. All right, that's going to be it for me. You guys take care. I'll see you in the next one.